Welcome back to the Beat 139. I'm Doc.
I'm Don Vito. What's good? What's happening? How y'all doing?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Beat. I'm Callie, and I would like to welcome our third guest of the night, Ciara Moore Brows, Permanent Cosmetics. Welcome, Ciara.
Hi.
And before we continue, I just wanted to mention that, me and Ciara has known each other since we were kids, and I had the pleasure to watch her growth and all the hard work that she has put into her business. And with that being said, Ciara, please tell them where you're from.
So I'm born and raised in the Bronx, the boogie down. But I did go to school in Harlem, so that's how me and Callie did meet. I spent a lot of time in Harlem. I went to a specialized school for singing, so that's one of my artistic things. I used to sing a lot. And then my artism just grew from singing into like makeup and stuff like that. So that's kind of how I got into the field that I'm in now.
Interesting. Okay.
So let's take it back. Let's take it back. Let's tell the audience, exactly from school, what college did you go to, and pretty much everything that you've been through to get to where you are today.
So, okay, like I just said, I went to the Choir Academy of Harlem. I used to sing. From there, I went to college. Originally, I wanted to be a doctor. So I went to college straight after high school to Virginia State University for biology pre-med. I was supposed to be a doctor, but it was too much partying and stuff going on. So that fell through. Came home, got a job, was working. Had a lot of jobs, actually.
Right.
Finally went back to school like a couple of years ago. Got my degree in business administration, but still wasn't really like, this is not my thing right here. Like, I still felt like as if I was missing something. Like, I would work jobs. I'm a very hard worker, so whatever I do, I give it my all. But I just always felt like this can't be it for me. Like, it's something more. It's my calling, but I just can't really pinpoint what it is. Life has happened to me. A lot of things happened to me during that whole time. But finally, one day, a friend of mine had said to me, I used to always have a love for makeup. Always, always, always had a love for makeup, especially eyebrows, because eyebrows shape your face. So growing up in high school even, I used to always, always, always pencil in my eyebrows. And people used to be like, your brows look so nice, girl. And who did your brows? I'm like, me. I would even do some of my friends' brows sometimes, when we would go out and stuff like that. And so like I said, a friend of mine has said to me, yo, I seen this thing about microblading, and I think maybe you should get it done so you won't spend hours and hours in the mirror. So I was like, yeah, maybe I should. So I started looking into it, and I learned that I can learn how to do it. So I was more intrigued with the idea of learning how to do it and being able to offer that to other people who might be dealing with the same thing that I was dealing with as far as like a lack of eyebrows. I know I realized that I could help people who had cancer, who lose their eyebrows, people who deal with alopecia, who, their hair don't grow for different reasons and stuff like that. So I was more intrigued with helping people back to my roots, because remember, I wanted to go to school to be a doctor, to help people. So I took the course to learn how to microblade, and then it was like all she wrote from there. I just took it and went off to the races with it.
All right, so let me ask you a question, right? So I'm going to take it back a little bit. So I want to get a story out of you, right? So how did you grow up, though? You had your mother and your father in your house. How did you grow up?
I grew up in a single-parent home, just my mother. My
How was life when you grew up?
I didn't have a bad upbringing. My mother had instilled a lot of morals and goals in me, but I definitely had daddy issues. His daddy wasn't around. So I definitely went out and I was wild, just looking for that attention from like a male figure, you know what I mean? Because my father wasn't there. So I definitely acted out. I was always the crazier one out the crew with my friends, be like, girl, why are you doing that? And I'd be like, well, that's just what I do. So, like I said, my mother, she did the best that she could do, because I'm a mom myself. So I know there's no manual on how to be a great mom or what to do and what not to do. So she did the best that she could. But I still went.
So when you mean acting out, like, we want to go a little more details. Like, you don't have to go detail, but what's some of the things you was doing when you were saying acting out?
Oh man, like busting checks and just doing all the wrong things, getting locked up from an early age, believe it or
Okay.
not.
So now I get interested. Now, see, with this, right? This is what the audience want to hear. Because when people watching this, people want to see the real. You know, so now you get into it. Now you're getting locked up. You busting checks. So this is important because the average teenage girl, you know, early 20s girl, this is something they do. So it's important when you do tell your story, you tell it. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody judging you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to talk no more. Just tell your story from that moment on.
So I've always been attracted to the glitz and the glam and the fast money, right? But like I said, my mother is very much so old school. So she instilled in me going to school, getting a good education, get a job. She had me apply to all these different city agencies, take this test, take that test. But it was never me. I'm like, I don't see myself working for a company, no offense to anybody that does, for 20, 30 years slaving to retire to what, still struggle? That was my whole outlook on it. So I was like, I'm gonna find my own way. Like, I know I'm gonna make it somehow, some way, but I'm just not gonna make it that way. So I dibbled and dabbled in everything that might have came my way. I was always attracted to money. Whether it was a good way of getting it or a bad way of getting it, I was gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it caused me to be in different situations that I should not have been in. You know, because
Right.
I don't glorify that, but it's part of my story. It's part of
Right.
my journey. So I definitely got in trouble with the law more than once. And then after a while, as you get older, reality kicked in. Like, I'm a mom now. This can't be life. Like, I got to figure it out the right way because I'm not just living for myself anymore. I'm living for a little girl who looks up to me. So I had to figure it out and figure it out fast.
And see,
So not to be evading, but like I said, what caused a good interview? Because it's like you're skipping over. I don't know if it's because you don't want to talk about it, but I think you onto something here. Because you said I did some things and now I got a kid to live. It's like you skipped over the whole thing. Because now we went live the other day, and now I understand our audience. I have understanding with them. I know what they want to hear. So now I really have to get it out since you said it, because now I wouldn't be doing my job to doing it. So, like you said, you with checks and stuff, go into details, what you did, you know, you here. You know what I'm saying? You're successful now, so don't ever feel ashamed of what you've done. You know what I'm saying? So now, can you just tell your story? You busting checks, and what you did. Like, you could talk about, like, it was lucrative, you know what I'm saying? I was doing this, I was going in the banks, however you did it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. Go into more details.
Ty, let her
on
tell the
that.
story, man.
No, but I had to, no, don't
she
tell
got it
hold on,
now,
hold on,
though,
hold on.
Sam.
Don't tell me she got it, because I said it before, and she
But
skipped
she gonna
over.
give her a chance. Let her go,
Nah,
man.
but I got to do this because I don't want to have to do it
I
again.
know, but you're taking a long time,
I'm
bro.
not
Let her
taking a
roll.
long time.
Come on.
This, you ain't doing your job by telling her the
Come
So
on, come on.
at the time, I was about 20, 21 busting checks. That was lucrative money to me at the time. But looking back, it's really no amount of money that's worth costing you your freedom, sitting behind bars for what? You know what I'm saying? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. That's not enough. You know what I mean? So that's the first stint of getting in trouble, busting checks. It doesn't end there. Then the second time around, somebody asked me to go out of town with them. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, okay, they probably bringing some work. Oh, I'm just driving. No, they were doing more than just bringing some. They were doing stick-ups, like robbing banks. You know what I'm saying? They had me on one side parked up, and they hopping out doing their thing, and then I did a Fed bid. You know what I'm saying, behind that. And at this time, I was a mom. I had a newborn baby, and the judge took me away from my daughter. So that first year that my daughter was growing up, she was growing up without me.
How much time you did in the feds?
So the judge told me he was being lenient on me because I was a new mom. So he split my bid up into like a 15, 14-month sentence. So I only did 5 months in the jail, and then 5 months on house arrest, and then I did a year parole. So that was lucky.
So the story is interesting, and I would like to hear a little more. It's interesting. I know this is your first time doing this, but I just want to relax and just hear it.
Definitely. And
Nah, let
where we want
It's
something that we
just
do need
tell
to
it.
know. What was that whole experience like when you was transitioning from this was negative, this wasn't working, you transitioned from that, then you went from the checks to the just being like the side driver or whatever, like, and when you got caught, like, how did you feel about that? Like, what woke you up when you experienced, when they, first of all, as soon as they locked you up?
I was devastated because, like I said, when we got locked up, it was like really humiliating, excuse me. We were about to cross the George Washington Bridge, and the marshals like pulled us over on the side of the highway, and everybody was driving past with their phones out, looking. They dragged us out the car with big rifles. Like, that's the first time I ever had a rifle in my face. Big rifles, and more than one at one time. So it was just like, what the hell did I get myself into? You know what I'm saying? And then I knew, like, damn, I'm in some deep right now. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna be able to get out of this. So, definitely, I was just like, now I had to get a lawyer. Like, it was humiliating, not only for me, but for my family.
Right.
Because I felt like I was the black sheep of my family because I'm the only one that's ever been in trouble with the law. Everybody flies the straight and narrow path. They have a government job. They work. And here I go trying to get the fast money and doing all the wrong things, getting locked up, humiliating the family. Everybody's just looking at me like, you had a better upbringing than that, and you went to school, you smart, you know better, what's wrong with you? Everybody was just pointing the fingers. So I just was very much so humiliated, you know what I mean?
So can you get into when you was doing it? I want to get into you were spending money. Tell that story, like how it was. Like when you're doing an interview, I think it's best for our people to, you know, when you put it in steps, like the glorified. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Glorified, you was buying Louis bags, taking trips, whichever you was doing. Just tell that and then get into, you know.
So a day-to-day of just busting checks was, okay, I got this, let me go shopping, let me go. I was young, so I didn't have no responsibilities, no children. So it was just, let's go shopping and let's go party. That was my everyday life. Let's go bust some checks, let's go shopping, and let's go party. That was it. That was my whole life. But when you really think about it, that's not really a life.
What type of money you was seeing?
I want to say maybe $2,000 or $3,000 a day, depending on how many checks I bust.
Wow, $2,000-3,000 a day. That's good money. So you balling. So
Especially when you're 20, 21.
So what you saving money?
No,
So you spend it as you go.
I was spending it as
So
I
you
go.
spending on what?
Shopping, partying, paying for friends to go here, go there, flying out, doing all types of stuff.
So how long was your run?
My run wasn't long. It might have been about maybe 2 years.
That's decent. For two grand a month, that's pretty good. So the thing is, so you ain't have no idea about saving money. Cause you save some money, you'd have been
No.
all right. 2 years,
Definitely
getting
had no
2,000
idea
a day,
about saving money.
you'd have been all right when you went to jail.
Ain't nobody saving no money
you
when
went to
you're
jail?
in the fast lane, man. The
Nah.
fast lane
that's
is called-
bullshit.
The fast lane. Hold on, when you're young. Hold
That
on,
is
let me
bullshit.
say. Let me
That's
say
you
what I
that
gotta
save
say.
no money.
You don't know my
You
story.
just
So
said
calm
nobody
down,
saving
Chant.
money, so
when
you
you were
ain't
young,
saving
when
no
you were a
money.
little kid, but hold up, Chant, calm down, Chant. When you were a young kid and moving the way she was moving and stuff like that, the girl just told you I was not saving no money. I was moving around. There's some people that save money, and there was a lot that didn't save money. They spent that money because they knew the next day they was gonna get that money again. So
That's
what
a
I'm
fact.
saving
That's
it
a
for,
fact.
when I'm gonna get it again.
And that was
I'm
my
gonna blow
fact.
10,000 because I'm getting that 10,000 tomorrow, and I'm gonna do that. And that's how it went. You know what I'm saying though?
And that
When you
was
get a
my
little older and you get a little tired of it and little other things come into play, then you start, you know what? Let me start putting some of this money up. But in the beginning, that shit is like whoa, 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 whoa. It's the street life.
Nah, but
that's what it is. That's how it go. But
Yeah,
that's
you young with no responsibilities,
Maybe
so-
you didn't do that, Doc. But you, not the world. Other people did that. She said she did that, and that's how it went. I know people that saved. I know people that didn't
But
save.
you just said nobody's do that.
Yeah, but I'm
You
saying
just
though,
said
a
nobody
lot of
do
people
that.
when you young at 20, you don't save no money, man.
Especially when the
Bottom line.
money's fast.
Nah, I
keeping it
disagree with
100.
that.
But that's the people
Yeah,
you know.
I say I do.
But that's the people you know. You don't know everybody.
I went
You don't
away
know
at an
everybody.
early age. I was
You know
young when I
young-
went
you know
away.
people in your
And
surroundings.
I came home.
You don't know
to
everybody.
some- I went
Here
and
you
put
go.
some money.
The man.
I came home
You
to
don't know
some
every
money.
fucking
You see what I'm
body.
saying? I'm not saying everybody.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I was older than 20.
No, everybody got it. Every 2 each his own, bro.
No, but what I'm saying,
To each his
no,
own.
what I'm saying is,
You know what I mean?
I asked her.
100.
No, I asked her.
All
Did
that
she?
fairy tale shit.
No, ain't no fairy tale. Don't even listen to him,
Fuck outta
right?
here.
Don't even listen to him.
You ain't gotta listen to me. I'm keeping the facts.
Hold up. No, I asked her what she. I asked her what she saving.
But we gotta let her talk though, man. We don't want to take over the
No,
show.
we're not taking a show. I asked her what she's saving money. You said nobody was doing that. How? It's plenty of people.
I had like
He
4
really meant
people
to
in the
say-
audience said you right, V.
He just
You
meant to say
understand?
the
She
majority.
said
He just said
it.
the
My man
majority.
said it, and she shake their head. They wasn't saving money.
You know how many people when I was
Majority.
But
away.
that's your people. These 4 people right here
I
just
wish
said they
I
wasn't
was saving
no
some money.
She
Calm
didn't say
down.
that.
I wish I was saving some money.
So let me ask you something.
but I wasn't.
When you went in, did you have money? Did you have money when you went in?
No, I was
No, I'm
really
talking
like-
to V.
Oh.
What?
Did you have money when you went in?
I'm not talking about my shit right
All
now.
right,
We talking
then.
about we
So
talking about Ciara.
But if you speaking for experience, why would you sit there and say nobody's saving no money?
But I'm not gonna get into my story right now. We're gonna
But
talk about
you
Ciara.
said nobody's
Yeah, see,
saving no
let's go.
money.
Let's
You know what I'm
continue.
saying?
See more brows.
You said nobody's
But I'm
saving no
older
money.
than her,
See more
champ.
brows.
I'm older than her. Let's get.
Of course we
let's
older
keep
than
it
her.
100.
I'll
All right,
try
then you
that
get
then.
older,
All right,
you
all right.
change. I'm older than
All right,
her.
all right, fellas. All right, fellas. All right. This is
Come
about
on, champ.
Ciara,
Let's
See
go.
More Brows Permanent Cosmetics.
Yeah.
Ciara, continue.
There you go, baby.
So we're gonna move on from the checks now, Doc. Right?
Yeah.
So we
You
gonna
got
move.
what the story.
Doc's
That's
trying to get the juicy.
Don't say nothing you ain't got no
The
business
juicy.
saying.
No, she
Really
already
get
did
to
her
the
time.
nitty-gritty.
But my thing is this. At the end of the day, no.
Yeah,
no,
but you know, this is what
no,
leads
don't
up
say-
to where
no.
I am now.
Nah, but
you
you
know?
gotta do the story.
No, but
You
at
gotta
the
do the
interview,
story.
no, let me tell you something very important. Me and V, real quick, right? Before we get to the interview, me and V did a live for the first time, right? We got to connect with our people. We figuring this thing out. It's important, right? Because not only this, when you give a good story, other platforms, they call you like, wow, I like that. And they call you now. You moving your story, you don't realize you could be helping another girl.
Right.
You're not helping nobody just saying, oh, I just did this. Oh, now I got see more brows. Oh, this like that's not doing nothing for nobody. Now you going from day one. It's a story. It's like a book from page one to page 300. You got to do it. That's part of the interview. You can't just jump. I'm doing see more brows. What? Like
Yes, the past to present.
you
Yeah.
gotta-
So
it's important. Your steps is
Ciara.
part of you. So what I'm saying to you is no disrespect, but it's important when you tell your story. Don't feel no way because you're helping another young lady by saying this. That it's good that you talk about how you was flossing because now you looked for the flossing. Now the flossing got you in jail.
Doc, I think you got the message across. I think you got the message across, brother. Doc, listen, y'all heard what he said, right?
I love our.
Did y'all hear
I know, but
what
we
Doc said?
interviewing her. Let her talk.
This message, he got
That's
this
what I'm
message
saying.
across. Okay, we going from the past to the present. See, continue, please.
So let's move on from the checks, right? Fast forward. So like I said, I did a Fed bid. Then the last bid that I did, and then we ain't gonna talk about no more bids, was a state bid, right? And that was for pushing pills.
Okay.
Well, you
Right.
getting it in.
Yeah, out of town in New Hampshire, I was the only black girl locked up with nothing but a bunch of Caucasians, and I did a whole year. And they was trying to get me to do a 2 to 4, but I just did a year that time. Thank God for a good pay for a lawyer. And then I didn't have no parole. I came home, no paper, no nothing. So at that point when I came home, now I'm a 2-time felon, right? So I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Nobody's not gonna hire me, even though I have skills. I'm a college graduate, you know what I'm saying? But still, at that point, people's looking like, okay, but you know what I'm saying? You all of this on paper. You saying one thing, but you're all of this on paper. So I went and got a job. Somebody finally hired me, but I hated the job. But I'm not a quitter. I'm a very hard worker. So I did that job to the best of my ability. But every day at that job, I'm like, yo, I got to figure something out because this is not me. They don't want to bring me on full time. They don't want to give me no benefits. I have a daughter. I have a family. Like, this is not it for me. And then that's when I said to you earlier, a friend of mine had mentioned the microblading. And then that's when I started looking into it more, learned how to do it. And then at that point, I said, you know what? This is something that I've always loved. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always loved makeup, and I've always been very artistic. Let me see what I could do with this. And then while working at that job, that same job that I was working at was allowed me to be able to have the funds to start my own business.
All right, so I'm gonna go back. How you said you did the Fed bid?
Yeah, now that's over.
Now, no, yeah, but I want you just jump. How long ago you was home before you like, fuck it, let me get into the pills? You came home, you did the Fed bid.
Came home
you
in
did
like
the 5 months.
2011.
How long it took you to
And
get?
then I caught the next bid in about 2014.
So you had a 3-year run with the pills. What kind of pills you was selling?
Oxys.
Okay, you was doing oxys in New Hampshire. What did you have co-defendants?
No, it was just me.
Oh, okay.
So once you did that last year, like, what made you want to change everything that you was doing? Because, you know, prior to that, you know, you was in the same situation. So now you doing this year, you made the money, you did everything you had to do, but now you're doing a year, you come out of jail. What's your first move from there?
My first move from coming out of jail is I got to get a job.
Okay.
It wasn't even like I got to start a business, because it was like I had nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Like, I feel like that was like I was at the lowest point in my life ever. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I got to get a job, but how the hell am I going to get a job?
All right.
Who the hell is going to hire me? Like, I know I have a lot of skills. I've always been a smart girl. I want to put that out there. Just always sometimes made bad decisions. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
well, it happens. You know, you get caught up. But when you was in there, were you like, did you have these thoughts of what I'm gonna do when I come home? Because a lot of people, most people, everybody, because some people just gonna return right back to life of crime because they feel they can do it better this time. But did you have like any ideas or any thoughts like, damn, I'm tired of doing bids. What I'm gonna do when I come home, and then that transcended into what you're doing now.
I
That's
definitely
what I wanna know.
did. Definitely did.
Because you got a lot of lonely days and
A
lonely
lot
nights
of lonely
when
days.
you start replaying your life.
A lot of lonely days.
Right.
And even though, you got friends and family that's like, we here for you. Honestly, you feel like you by yourself in that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? When the lights go out and it's count time, you like, I'm doing this shit by myself.
Right. Count time.
So let me ask you.
On the count.
So let me ask you
That shit
something. So was you getting frequent visits?
Yeah, I got visits all the time.
So for family.
Yeah.
So what about guys you was dating? Was they come visit you?
My daughter's father was there like clockwork with my daughter.
Oh, that's cool.
So do you think if
So the second bid, hold up. So the second bid, you said you had your daughter at this time.
Yeah.
How old she was when you went away?
So when she went away the first time, she was a baby. She turned 1 year old. They came to bring her to visit me on her first birthday in jail.
Okay.
So my question, Ciara, is, do you think your mindset would have been different if you weren't a mother at that time, where you would have came out and continued to do the same thing and just try to do it in a different way? Or you think it's because you were a mother that, you said, listen, I have to change my life, I have to go about things differently and just, be legit?
Yeah, I think motherhood has a big role to play in my whole mindset. Even though I was a mother when I got in trouble the first time and then I got in trouble again, but that last time sitting down for that whole entire year really humbled my ass. Like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, because my mother even told me, like, I'm gonna take your daughter away from you if you keep living like this.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't want nobody to take my kid from me. Like, I'm a great mom. I just made some mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So that just made me put everything into perspective. Like, I got to get my shit together somehow, some way.
Right.
All right, so you said the job that you got when you came home helped you to finance your business. What job was that?
So I was an administrator. So I graduated from college with a bachelor's degree in business administration. So I've always had like a lot of good jobs in the past, doing administrative work, working at like some of the best hospitals, NYU, Harlem Hospital. I mean, I have had really good jobs. But so I landed that job working in Jersey at a dry dock. So it was a Navy dock where they dock a lot of the Navy ships when they need to be serviced. So I did like all of the analytics and the financial stuff for them. And it was a decent job. It was all men. I was the only female there.
Where that's at?
It's in Bayonne, New Jersey.
Okay, Bayonne. Okay. Right.
So I was working there for a while, and I even tried to like get on to because I was hired as like a per diem worker. So, no benefits or nothing like that. And I was like, damn, I need benefits. I'm a daughter, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I guess, they didn't want to do it or whatever. So I was just like, I got to figure something out. I got to figure something out. So when that whole microblading thing hit for me and I took the class, it just worked out just like perfect, like in the right time. And so like, I didn't just start the business right away. I started practicing. Like, my mother was my first guinea pig. Then a few of my friends was my guinea pigs. Then I'm like, oh, I could really do this. Then I was like, you know what? maybe I'm onto something here. And then that's when I said, let me just take that leap of faith, because I know I'm not going to let myself down. And I know this is something that I really, really like to do. And let me just start a business.
All right, so let's talk about your business now. Let's go there. So your business is in New Jersey.
Yes.
Correct? Mm-hmm. What's the name of your business again?
Ciara Moore Brows Permanent Cosmetics.
Okay. And how many employees do you have, or partners or whatever?
3.
3. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what kind of clientele do you have?
Our clientele varies. It's all nationalities. Mm-hmm. We specialize in all nationalities. Mm-hmm. But it's men and women.
And so what kind of services do you provide?
So I specialize in permanent makeup. Some people don't know what that is. That's a form of tattoo, but just a little different. So I specialize in permanent makeup of the eyebrows, eyeliner, lips. I do teeth whitening, skin tightening, as well as different eyebrow services. But we offer facials there as well, eyelash extensions, all the stuff that women love to do to stay looking beautiful all the time.
So when it comes to the eyebrows, is it damaging to get the permanent makeup on the brow?
No, it's not damaging at all, as long as you go to the right technician. I always encourage everybody to research who your technician is, look at before and after pictures, and make sure that they know what they're doing and they have proper training.
Okay. So as far as the teeth cleaning, what you recommend? Just go do a teeth whitening or go get a cleaning first at the dentist?
So I always tell people, go get a teeth cleaning first. A teeth cleaner is good because the hygienist is going to get in all in between the cracks and crevices, clean your teeth really good, and then come get a whitening, because then that's going to be like that's going to put the icing on the cake.
Let me see your teeth. Oh, wow, I see. Okay. Cool.
So is permanent makeup painful?
I never tell anybody that it's a painless procedure, because everyone's pain tolerance is different. But what I do always let people know is that I do numb you up throughout the entire procedure with over-the-counter numbing agents. And so I make you very comfortable.
Okay. Are the PMU tools pigments hurts the eyes in any way?
Nope, not at all. They're formulated just for that.
Okay.
Ciara, you have a caller. Caller, you here to speak with Ciara?
Hey, Ciara. I wanted to ask you, right? What's the top 3 most valuable lessons you learned going into your business? And how could somebody not be afraid to do do what you do?
The top 3 most valuable lessons I would say that I've learned from going into my business is that you need good training, great marketing. Definitely need great marketing. And the last one I would say would probably be you just have to have a strong passion in whatever it is that you're doing. I hope that answers your questions.
I wanted to start like a business, and do you think is it good to try to get a loan from a bank, or how do you go about how did you get to actually getting your business out of your head and onto the street?
So I definitely didn't take any loans. I didn't take any money from anybody. I straight hustled my money up to start my business, between working and no loans at all. But, I don't discourage anybody that wants to take out a loan to start their business. That's your choice, but I just chose not to do that. I don't like the whole loan factor. That's just not really becoming to me. But what was the next question he asked besides a loan?
You can ask him.
Oh, no, I was saying okay, so you basically saying okay, don't take money from nobody. So how do you, if you don't have the money but you have the idea, what do you feel is the best way to go about trying to make it happen?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. So I would say, so if it's something that you're interested in doing, I would definitely like research it, find out different ways on how you could start it up, or however you could get your money up is how you get your money up. You know what I mean? But I always tell people, I always stress like whatever you doing, I feel like it's something that you should be passionate about because it's gonna always show in your work. Do the research, do the footwork. You know, check out what your competitors are, see what you should or should not be doing and stuff like that. That's my answer to that.
Okay, like so, cause you, all right, cause my friend told me like about your like your business and stuff, and you know she said like you really help people get their teeth better, you know. So, are you like do you get afraid? Like you ever like be afraid, like not sure of yourself, cause it takes a lot to do what you do. So, do you get overwhelmed? And like if so, what do you do when you get overwhelmed?
I definitely do get overwhelmed sometimes. When I do get overwhelmed, I just take a breath. Like, I think I handle pressure very well. I've been in some really crazy situations, so I try not to crack under pressure. But when you get overwhelmed, you just gotta take a step back and just take a deep breath. Like, if this is your profession and you know what you're doing, you can't let an outsider come in and tell you or dictate to you how your business is supposed to be ran, period. So when people come in and they ask me stuff and
I got one more question. And since you already a successful business owner, can you invest in my business?
maybe, depending on what it is.
Okay, I'm thinking about getting a barbershop. But all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, make sure you follow me, okay? My Instagram is C_Moore_beauty.
Okay.
Also follow, subscribe to the show.
They hung up.
You know what I wanted to ask you? Is anybody and everybody suitable for the permanent makeup? Is
No.
it a certain type of skin that cannot be allowed to have it on? To have it?
Everyone is not suitable for permanent makeup. So if you're currently undergoing chemotherapy, if you're diabetic, because you know people who are diabetics, their skin doesn't heal as fast as someone else who's not a diabetic. If you're currently like on Accutane, it's a lot of different things. So you have to go through a full consultation with me of your whole medical background history before I can even consider you to have any type of permanent makeup procedure.
So permanent makeup is like a tattoo.
It is.
So eyebrows. What else?
Eyeliner, top and bottom, lips,
Right. So once it's on, it's on.
beauty marks. I do hairline.
Once it's on, it's on.
How long does the
Once it's
procedure
on, it's
last?
on.
Permanent is permanent,
But
right?
it's the fine line. It's the fine line.
what's the
Here's
fine
the
line?
difference. Here's the difference.
Give me the difference.
So, like I said, it's in the same family, permanent makeup and tattoos, right? But permanent makeup, we use pigment. Tattoo artists use ink.
Right.
Tattoo artists go a little bit deeper into your skin than what permanent makeup artists do.
Right.
So therefore, I had this tattoo when I was 19. It's not going anywhere.
Right.
Right? I had my eyebrows done maybe like 2 years ago. They definitely have faded out a lot lighter than what they were when I first got them done, but they're still there because this is it's like a lot of different things that factor in as to why it's not going to last as long as what this would last me.
Right. So if the water hit that, what happens?
It's going to stay right there. It's not going to wash away.
Right. So you said eyebrows. What else?
Eyeliner, top and bottom. Because what it is that as women and even men, believe it or not, they get this stuff done too. As we age,
Men get what? What they get?
I've done a man's eyebrows.
What? Eyeliner too?
No, not the eyeliner. Mainly the brows. Mainly the brows.
The brows.
But what it is that as women age, you know, they don't want to have to wake up and do their makeup. Your hair might not be as steady as it was when you were younger. You know, some people don't like the whole factor of their makeup smudging. You know what I'm saying? So they just want to wake up and look beautiful.
So the makeup smudging. So makeup. Face.
Regular makeup smudges at the end
I
of the day.
understand, but that's not permanent though.
No, permanent makeup doesn't smudge.
How long does the permanent makeup last?
It can last anywhere between like a year to 3 years, sometimes even 4 years, depending on the individual, your skin, how well you take care of it. It's like a few different factors that factor in on how long it can last on you.
So let's get this right? So we got permanent eyebrows, eyeliner,
Yes.
and permanent makeup on the face. So when you take a shower, you get in the pool, that shit stay like that.
Stay like that.
Wow. That's some fly shit.
You know what?
Because, women got a lot of tricks out there, right? They got a lot of tricks. You know what I mean? They got spanks. They got the fake booties. I'm just throwing it out there. Now they got the permanent
crazy,
face. That's me.
Yeah, women got it all.
Women got tricks, man.
Yeah.
You laugh if you want to, but you getting tricked. You getting tricked, my dude. You getting tricked. You getting tricked, and women expect the guy. He gotta have some bread. He can't have like a big old stomach and shit, whatever the case may be.
They better have them Spanks on.
But they got mad tricks,
Trying to put us under pressure. They better put them Spanks on.
The tricks. But if our money ain't up and we got a big stomach, we twist it. That's what I'm trying to get at.
You ain't lying.
They don't want to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all some bullshit, man. But you know what, though? That's a
Do I
good
do the
business,
hairlines?
though.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
for the
a
men.
good
Men and
profession.
women. Hairline.
What about hairline?
No, she
Permanent
was
hairline.
asking me, do I do the hairline? And I said,
The
yes.
Steve
for the
Harvey
men and the
joint.
women.
What hairline?
The Steve Harvey joint, Chad.
The hairline.
With the
Yeah, your shit say like
So,
that,
like,
Chad.
say,
How you do a
I'm
hairline?
not one of those people, so
That's
I don't want to
what you
jinx
try to
myself,
get.
but sometimes people are receding or it gets
He
very
went to-
light.
Yeah.
I can help
He
you
with
out.
the hairline.
I heard you say Tom. No, I heard him, not you.
But you know we had this before. That's why he heard me. But hear what I'm saying, though.
See,
But we know
the
I'm
audience
laughing,
want
right?
to know
But
about the
real talk,
hairline.
though. But-
Hold on, he want to know.
Who wants to know? You do? Yeah. But you just go bald now. You do a baldy now, right?
Can you give him a hairline?
You keep it the way it is. Okay.
But he asking, what would you do? How would you fix it?
In his instance.
I don't even really have eyebrows either.
But see, we would talk about it in the privacy of me and you, what it is that you would want to do, what's the look that you're going for, and then we would take it from there.
Okay, gotcha.
But see, let me get back to you, right? So, all jokes to the side. The way that you grew up with a decent mother, and then you got caught up in the streets, and you got introduced to fast money, you did a couple of bids, you had a daughter, you went to college, you was always smart, you was always a hustler, you was always about your business, you was always respectful, and then you went into this. That's a beautiful story. And the young girls in society that's going through that, gonna look up to you as a person, as a person who came from the same environment they came from, and look what I'm doing right now. Because what you're doing right now, you are in the category of being not just a health professional, but like in a doctor category, because when you're dealing with people's faces,
Yeah.
with they skin, that's some serious shit.
Yes.
Ain't nobody, when motherfucker put their hand in my face, yo, get the fuck your hand in my face for? Just in the atmosphere because of germs and all that. But you have a trade, you have a skill, you have a profession that is like, you went through all that to get to that. Mm-hmm. And you don't learn from doing everything right, you learn from mistakes. And look at the woman that you become. And I met your daughter, she's a beautiful person.
Thank you.
And you're a great mother.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So people need to know about all that.
Definitely.
So the story was leading up to all this right now. Mm-hmm. You understand? In you being a young black entrepreneur, again, we had 3 on the show tonight. Everybody's young black entrepreneurs, black business, and we support that. And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
We're talking.
Definitely.
I salute you.
Thank you.
Word.
So,
Sarah, I wanted to ask you something before we move on. How is the symmetry in the shape determined when creating
Eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
So it all depends on the person's shape of their face, from your forehead to your brow, your bone structure. It's a lot of things that go into how you're going to determine how thin or thick somebody's eyebrows need to be, believe it or not.
Okay. Do you ever come upon like where the skin is like too thick, where it
Never
won't
not too
penetrate,
thick,
or
never not too thick, but definitely too thin.
too thin?
As
Okay.
we age, believe it or not, our skin thins out.
And what happens? It doesn't
The
take.
elasticity of the skin is so thin that as soon as you just hit it one time, it just bleeds instantly.
Yeah, it's
Oh
true.
wow! Right.
True story.
Okay.
True story.
caller, you here to speak to Ciara?
Yes. How are you doing?
Hi.
Turn them up.
Okay, I'm gonna load my phone now. I got a question to ask. Now you went to you have Okay, now can I ask a question?
Yes.
Can you put your volume down, please?
Okay, I'm gonna cut it down on my phone or my.
You listen
Okay.
to the show.
Listen, you
Turn
said
the
you.
show down. What you watching from your computer?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm watching on my computer, but I got my phone next to the computer.
Yeah, can you turn down a little? We can hear you clear then.
Okay. Okay, now I can ask some questions now.
Let's
Yes.
go. Let's
Now,
do
you-
it.
I always call anyway, so I should be a regular.
What's your
Listen.
name? What's your name?
My name is Ron. I live in VA, but I've been following your show.
I appreciate that, Ron. We
Yes,
don't-
Ron. We
I
definitely
appreciate
appreciate
that.
that.
I definitely appreciate you, Ron, and we definitely gonna give you shout outs for now.
Hey, Ron, what part of VA you at, bro?
I'm in Newport News, Hampton area.
Okay, Newport.
Okay.
Bad news, huh? Bad news? That's what they call it, bad
Well,
news.
also,
Yeah, they call it that.
Yeah, they call it bad news, but I'm also I'm up in Harlem, I'm between 7th and 8th Avenue on 138th Street.
Oh, you uptown. You in Harlem right now, but you from Newport News.
That's where I usually be at. I know Harlem back, but I'm from Harlem. I'm part of that migration that went to VA.
Right. But right now you living in Newport News.
Yeah, but Newport News is just like living out Long Island and Hempstead. That's
So you
what
up there
Newport
by
News
the
is
Patrick
like.
Henry Mall and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you not down where you ain't down there where Allen Iverson and Michael Vick was at. You ain't down that part.
Yeah, I know where they are. Their projects is rough, man.
That's what I'm saying. But you not down that side though. You up on
I
Jefferson
don't wanna be
Boulevard.
there.
You on Jefferson, right? You up that way.
I don't want to be. Yo, listen. I don't want to be where Michael Vick and Allen Iverson are. That's a bad neighborhood.
I know, but I'm saying though, if you saying you ain't from Bad News, you up by the Patrick Henry Mall. You outside of, you on the other side of
Listen,
Newport
I
News.
know where Patrick Henry Mall is. I was up there yesterday.
Oh, you up there by Killing Creek and all that type of stuff.
Oh, it's called Kill Creek.
There you go. Okay, I know all about that town. But
Kiln Creek.
hey, let's talk to Ciara. What question you have for Ciara, man?
Okay, Sierra, listen. You know, when you was talking about you're up in New Hampshire, that's not a nice place to be.
It surely isn't. You got that right.
I mean, how could you survive up there? I mean, did you write a book? When you gonna write a
I'm
book?
working on writing a book. I definitely am. But honestly, how I survive, I've learned to grow some really thick skin. It was rough. I definitely experienced some racism. Like, it was rough. It was definitely rough. But I had to do the bid. I couldn't let the bid do me.
Me.
Quick question. Would you ever go back to New Hampshire to visit?
Never, ever. When I hear people say New Hampshire, my skin cringes.
Wow.
So I gather you're not a New England Patriots fan.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Oh wow.
Not at all.
Next question is, I want to know, now that you are out, you got your business established, what's the next move? What's the next power move?
So the next thing that I want to do that's like really big is like in the next, I want to say 3 years or so, I want to open up a school, the first Black-owned permanent makeup school in New Jersey.
That's good. Will you be accepting financial aid?
No. What basically in this industry, when it comes to like school and different things like that, like this specific type of school is not like college, you have to pay. I had to pay. Everybody else who's done it behind me and before me has to pay. So if this is something that you know you want to take to the next level, you're investing in yourself, you're going to find the money. You're going to figure it out. And it's not like
Okay.
it's a college tuition where it's like 30 and 50. It's not that kind of money. But, you know, it's definitely money that you could definitely come up with, hopefully.
So how do you feel now that you're home and you got your business together? Do you feel that you being recognized as the woman you are, or people still hold your past against you?
So believe it or not, a lot of people don't really know about my past, believe it or not. So
I do now.
You do now. Now the world will know, but I shared it because I think it's important for people to see, like, this business didn't just fall in my lap. Like I wasn't just like, oh, wake up one day, oh, I'm gonna be a business owner. It didn't happen like that. Like it was a journey that it took me to get here. So
Right,
that's why I
step
think
by
it's
step,
important
right.
to share so people can know like it was not easy for me at all. Nothing was given to me. I had to go get it.
Was this part of your plan?
No, I never even saw this in my plan. I didn't.
You didn't set this forth out in the world saying this is what I want to be, or you just did it because where did you create your energy to place you there?
How I created my energy to place me there is once I found something that I knew I always loved, that was always hiding within me, but I just never kind of like brought it to the forefront. And then I tapped into it. Then I was like, oh, this is what I've been loved to do, but I was just kind of like hiding it under, trying to do other stuff to try to figure out, oh, maybe this is what I like, this is what I like. But that's not really what I like. This was always it.
Okay, now I know I'm running my mouth too much, but I've been looking at the comments about what they're saying. The comment is that they say you move your hands too much.
I do talk with my hands. I'm sorry.
The person, I definitely see who that is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying is they want you to be a little bit more formal. You got your hands moving around, and this guy's writing comments. I can't shut them down because this is not my platform, but I see you got your hands together. You know, sometimes when you hold your hands, you got to be like a politician. Put a bottle of water in your hand and make it look, a little bit more Michelle Obama. Oh, dude called me a snitch? I ain't snitch, man. Look at the comment. He wrote down a snitch.
Thank you for that advice, caller. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling in, caller. You know, we appreciate your time.
We
Man.
talk to you soon.
All right. Check this out, right? So, in defense of my girl, Ciara, right here, right? And she really don't need no defending, but, you know, what she was trying to do was just find a path, find a way. You know, what she was doing what you call hustling in the black community. She didn't hurt nobody. She was just trying to get her money and survive and eat and live and pay bills. You know, and a lot of us can relate to that because we've been through that. You know what I'm saying? Society put us in that position, and we had to do what we had to do. But at the end of the day, you don't learn from everything you do right. You learn from mistakes. And she learned from her mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. We all learn from our mistakes. And what the important thing is about what you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? As a person, as a human being, and what you're trying to do to give back to the community, to our viewers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Is what's well appreciated. You know, and she's here giving back. And that's what she's on the show for, to show that this is how I grew up and this is how I turn out. If I can do it, you can do it. Don't judge me. Only God can judge me. And that's what it is. And I support her. I support her.
And not only that,
You know what I'm saying?
Not only that, that's part of growth. See, that's part of any story. Anything you do, you're supposed to go like that way. You're not supposed to get old and then go backwards. Then when you're young, that's when you make your mistakes and get better. Right. So, you know, that's a little ludicrous right there.
So is there anything that we didn't touch on that you would like to let everybody know that the viewers don't know?
So, I mean, I do a lot of give backs. I just did one in the month of October for breast cancer survivors as well as domestic violence survivors. I also teach. I like to feel like as if I don't want to be the one with all the knowledge. Those who are new coming into the industry and want to offer different services, I teach different things to new upcoming people and even people who've already been in the industry and may or may not offer the services that, you know, that I offer and want to learn how to do it. I teach.
And what are some of the services?
So I have, I teach teeth whitening as well as some of my brow services like brow tint and brow lamination. I teach that as well.
Okay.
So can you give people your social media links?
Sure. So I'm on Instagram as well as Facebook. My Instagram is C_Moore_beauty. And that's the same thing for my Facebook is C_Moore_beauty. And that's Moore, Moore with 2 O's.
Can you tell them what podcast show you on?
Of course, none other but than the Beat 139.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you, Ciara. That was
appreciate
beautiful.
you. We love you. You know that.